natin ang ating mga sarili sa harap po ng Panginoong Diyos. Panginoon namin Diyos, taimtim po kami sumasama sa inyo. Natulungan niyo po ang aming bayan na saglak sa sandamakmak na problema ngayon. Bukod po kasi sa problema sa mahal na presyo ng bilihin, nariyan pa rin po ang problema na walang pambayad sa pagpapagamot ng marami naming kababayan. Ang maliit na mga sahod na hindi mapagkasya at marami pa pong iba. Subalit ang pinakamalalang problema na aming inilalapit sa inyo ay tungkol sa aming mga sarili. Sa halip po na unahin ang kapakanan at mga suliranin ng aming mga mamayan, may mga pagkakataong nauna ang interes ng sarili, partido o grupo. Humihingi po kami ng patnubay sa ating mapagmahal na Diyos. Pagkos, liwanagin niyo po ang aming isipan at buksan ang aming mga mata na unahin muna ang pangangailangan ng aming mga kababayan dahil kami po ang kanilang inaasahan na tutulong at magresolba sa mga problema ng bayan. Ipaalala niyo po sa amin na hinalal po kami ng taong bayan hindi para unahin ang aming mga sarili, pamilya, ang aming mga political parties o kaalyado, kundi ang pangangailangan ng taong bayan, lalong-lalo na yung mga nasa laylayan po ng lipunan. Bigyan mo po kami ng lakas na loob na tanggapin, na magsakripisyo para sa kapakanan ng bayan at hindi ng aming mga sarili at mga kaalyado. Amen.
Amen. The Secretary will please call the roll.
Roll call of members. The Honorable Senator Aquino, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Gatchalian, Senator Go, Senator Ontiveros, Senator Lacson, Senator Lapid, Senator Ligarda, Senator Marcoleta, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pangilinan, Senator Soto, Senator Tulfo Erwin, Senator Tulfo Rafi, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Camille, Senator Villar Mark, Senator Zubiri, Senate President Cayetano Alan is present.
With 23 senators present, the chair declares the presence of a quorum.
Mr. President, if I may, and before we proceed, may I just acknowledge some guests from the gallery, guests of Senator Robin Hood Padilla, athletes and coaches of the Philippine Barebow national team and their families, Ms. Mariel Padilla and the children of Senator Robin Hood Padilla are also here, members of the Padilla family. We welcome them in this August chamber. And we also would like to acknowledge, Mr. President, the guest of our Senate President, the Mindanao Evangelical Leaders Council. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes, we welcome them to the Senate and thank you for being with us today. Later, we will honor our gold medalist.
Thank you. Mr. President, I move that we dispense with the reading of the Journal of the 65th Session, May 19, 2026, and consider the same as approved.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, pursuant to Rule 10, Section 13 of the Rules of the Senate, I move to elect the chairpersons of the
Yes.
Senate.
What's the pleasure of Senator Erwin?
Mr. President, just a quick manifestation, sir.
Go ahead.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a manifestation. What happened inside the Senate premises last week is deeply alarming, regardless of which side one stands politically. I know you will agree with me, Mr. President. Many versions of the armed confrontation are now circulating. Statements were made that the Senate was under attack, while the executive denies of any offensive operation. Some claim that the tension was triggered by the recent changes in Senate leadership. There are allegations involving the OSAA, the NBI, and even a speculation that the shooting itself was smokescreen to facilitate an escape or create confusion. And even more disturbing are allegations attempting to implicate the minority just because nakauwi na po kami. With all due respect, Mr. President, on May 12, a day before the incident, the new Senate leadership informed the body the intention to have an all-senators caucus. On May 13, the day of the incident, around 5:02 p.m., it was modified to a majority-only caucus. Naturally, members of the minority who were no longer part of those internal deliberations eventually went home, Mr. President. To suggest that the mere fact that some senators were responsible for what later transpired just because they had already left the premises is speculative, irresponsible, and unsupported by evidence. But beyond the conflicting narratives, let us not forget the ordinary Senate employees and staff who were caught in the middle of the chaos, mga rank and file, maintenance, security, clerk, media at iba pang empleyadong naipit lamang dahil ginagampanan po ang kanilang mga tungkulin. Yet they were the ones exposed to fear, confusion, and danger inside an institution where they should have felt secured. Some were traumatized, some feared for their safety. Mr. President, hindi po sila scapegoats at lalong hindi collateral damage. At the same time, we must recognize the larger damage caused by this incident. Mr. President, millions of Filipinos and even the whole world watched this unfold in disbelief. They saw the confusion inside one of the highest institutions of the government. They saw conflicting authorities, conflicting narratives, and an atmosphere that appeared closer to disorder than democratic governance. Nakakahiya po sa totoo lang, Ginoong Pangulo. And because the public deserves the truth. Nakabang na po ang taong bayan. And they have been waiting since Monday. Una, ano ba ang legal na basihan sa pagpasok ng mga otoridad sa bisinidad ng Senado kung meron man po? Pangalawa, Nagkaroon ba ito ng formal na koordinasyon sa pamunuan ng Senado bago isinagawa ang operasyon at ano ang naging direktiba ng liderato kaugnay rito? Pangatlo, ano po ang mga partikular na aksyon na nag-udyok at naging mitsa ng putukan? Meron bang provokasyon mula sa alinmang panig? At aling ahensya o sino-sinong individual ang direktang responsable sa pagpapaputok ng mga baril? Alam ko po, Ginoong Pangulo, wala po kayo roon, bagkos kayo po ay nakasalalay lamang sa mga report na ibinibigay po sa inyo. Naiintindihan ko po yun. Pangapat, anong mga hakbang ang ginawa upang masigurong ligtas po ang mga senador, mga empleyado at ang media bago at matapos maganap ang insidente? Ang panghuli, ano-anong mga ebidensya po ang nakalap upang magbigay linaw sa tunay na pangyayari? Ginoong Pangulo, when law enforcement operations intersect with the authority privileges and internal security protocols of another branch of government, there must be clarity, not confusion, restraint, not escalation. Alam ko po na may kanya-kanyang investigasyon ay sinasagawa ang Senado at NBI. But there is merit in the public outcry for an impartial, independent, and facts-based investigation. Mahalagang maituguyod po ang isang proseso na patas, transparent, at may kredibilidad sa mata ng publiko. Walang undue influence, walang haka-haka. At the end of the day, Mr. President, no camp wins when public confidence in institution is weakened. The Senate is not a venue for armed confrontation, Mr. President, or competing display of forces or political theater. It is a constitutional institution governed by law, order, and respect for due process. Hindi po drama, aksyon o comedy ang hanap ng taong bayan. They are asking for truth, accountability, and stability. And that is precisely what this institution owes them, Mr. President. Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo.
In consultation, just a minute, in consultation with the majority leader, I will not rule that manifestation out of order because actually it is a privileged speech or it is actually a topic for personal or collective privilege. But since it's a matter of grave importance, Senator Tulfo, I share with you the sentiment of its grave importance. Myself, I'm taking prudence and waiting for all the investigations. There are resolutions filed. It will be referred to the proper committee. But of the highest order, in accordance with our rules and constitution, is always the election of our officers organization. So unless anyone has a higher motion now, because actually members of the majority have also asked to speak on that matter. And we will allow everyone to speak on that matter, but we will proceed first with the election of our committees. Majority Leader? Minority Leader, then Senator Risa.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor, Mr. President. We concur, but the reference, the referral of the speech and the forthcoming resolutions will be later on.
Yes. Well, it's not a speech. It's a
Well,
it's a manifestation. So unless there's a motion to refer, which let's harmonize it later on with the resolution filed by the minority,
Yes, I
so that we do
would
not
like to
refer
file,
it to different committees.
Yes, I will
Yes.
like to file for a motion later on
Yes.
for the referral.
That's in order,
Thank you.
Minority Leader. What's your pleasure, Senator Risa?
Salamat po, Mr. President. Together with the Minority Leader, I defer to the ruling earlier stated by the presiding officer. Pero just to make of record, Mr. President, nakaschedule din po ako mag-deliver sa ating agenda for the day
Yes.
ng privilege speech. And it so happens po,
It's the same
katulad
topic,
nung
yes.
paksa nung
Yes.
talumpati ni Senator Erwin Tulfo, and specifically moving forward from the events of last week and this week, Mr. President.
Noted. So,
And I look forward to being able to deliver that within today's session, Mr. President.
noted. So can we go to the
Yes.
Thank you,
election?
Mr. President.
Mr.
Senator
President,
Tulfo. So unless
may I
this has to do with the election, we will defer all of those manifestations later in accordance with our rule. What is the reason that you rise, Senator Tulfo?
Mr. President, manifestation of support
Yeah.
lang sana.
Sorry, Senator, I made a ruling already supported by the... But I will go to you right after. Majority Leader, please recognize Senator Tulfo right after
Yes, Mr. President.
you read the committees.
Yes, Mr. President, with that, may I just move that we refer the manifestation of Senator Erwin Tulfo and manifestations that were mentioned to the Committee on Rules?
We will wait for the Minority Leader when we read the...
Okay.
I
I withdraw the motion, Mr. President.
Maybe we will take a quick...
Therefore, Mr. President, we will go now to the previous motion of this representation pursuant to Rule 10, Section 13 of the Rules of the Senate. I move to elect the chairpersons of the Senate Permanent Committees. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, please proceed.
Senator Pia Cayetano as chairperson of the Committee on Accountability of Public Officers and Investigations. Vice Senator Panfilo Lacson. So move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, Senator P is hereby elected.
Senator Amy Marcos, chairperson of the Committee on Foreign Relations. Vice Senator Erwin Tulfo. So move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, Senator Amy is hereby elected.
Senator Camille Villar, retained as chairperson of the Committee on Environment, Natural Resources, and Climate Change. So move, Mr. President.
Any objection? If not, Senator Camille Villar is hereby elected to such committee.
Senator Robin Hood Padilla as chairperson of the Committee on Constitutional Amendments and Revision of Codes. Vice Senator Francis Pangilinan. So move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, Senator Robin Padilla is hereby elected to that committee.
Senator Camille Villar as chairperson of the Committee on Government Corporations and Public Enterprises. Vice Senator Mark Villar. So move, Mr. President.
Any objection? If not, Senator Camille Villar is elected to that.
Mr. President, as earlier committed,
Sure.
Senator Raffy Tulfo
Yes,
would like
Senator
to
Tulfo,
take the
I
floor.
apologize. Thank you very much for the adhering to the ruling of the chair. We will now recognize you. Afterwards, Senator Risa is raising her hand.
Mr. President, I would like to associate myself with the manifestation of Senator Erwin Tulfo. Meron lang po akong konting katanungan. Meron ho bang standard operating procedure manual ang ating USAA? Number one. Number two, pagdating po sa pag-handle ng firearms, are these the members of the USAA, are they trained? And then number three, ano-ano ho bang qualifications dito mga members ng USAA natin? Who are they? What are their qualifications to be chosen as members of the USAA? Yun lang po, Mr. President.
Yes. So, note your questions are noted, and depends on what committee we refer it to. We will consult with the minority. We'll take a recess, a short suspension when we read the committee report, because unless we agree to convert into a committee of a whole so that the certain people can testify here, the other option is to give it to a standing committee. So let's decide that in a while.
And then lastly, Mr. President, meron bang training ang members ng USAA kung paano mag-handle ng isang problema, isang situation, and do they understand the meaning of rules of engagement? Yun lang po, Mr. President.
Yes. Thank you for those questions, Senator Tulfo. Senator Risa, do you want to take the floor?
Salamat po, Mr. President. Mr. President, I rise on a matter of personal and collective privilege. Mr. President, halos isang linggo na matapos ang habulan at barilan dito sa Senado. Sa loob-loob ko, hindi ako mapanatag na simula nung Lunes, ang ipinapakita natin ay para bang walang nangyari. Na para bang hindi nabastos ang ating institusyon, ang ating mga empleyado at ang mga Pilipino. Hindi maliit na bagay ang nangyari dito. At lalong hindi dapat inaasa sa mga Facebook Live, press conferences at media interviews ang pagtatahi-tahi ng mga pangyayari. Ganito na ba talaga kababa ang inabot ng ating politika sa Pilipinas? Ito na ba tayo, Mr. President? Tuluyan na bang nilihis ng politika ang ating mga pamantayan sa pakikipagkapwa. The situation stooped so low that here, in and around these same august halls, may pwedeng magkasa ng baril sa harap ng mga sibilyan. Dear colleagues, kahit kailan, hindi yan nangyari sa Pilipinas. Kahit panahon ng kudeta, not even during the darkest days of martial law, did gunfire erupt within our halls. So, whether we stand in the minority or in the majority, the Senate, as an institution, has sustained a profound injury to its dignity, credibility, and moral authority before the Filipino people. And this frustrates me every day since Wednesday, including in the context of initial findings from the investigation conducted by the Department of Justice, the Department of the Interior and Local Government, and the Philippine National Police, beginning to reveal various points. Patuloy pa rin ang investigasyon, Mr. President, at dapat lang. But still, this needs to be said. Kapag may nagpaputok ng baril, right here in the people's house, kapag naghasik ka ng takot sa mga empleyado, sa media, sa security personnel, at sa mga sibilyan, kapag may natroma dahil sa karahasan at umuuwing nanginginig at hindi mapakali sa sariling bahay, lampas na ito sa isyu ng pamumulitika. Pambabastos na yan at pang-aabuso sa lahat-lahat ng ipinagkatiwala sa Senado bilang mga lingkod bayan. As we all know, democracy has always made room for disagreement. But, dear colleagues, hindi na ito political disagreement. Hindi na ito issue ng kampihan. What should trouble us is the manner by which this agreement is being settled, which reflects a broader national discourse that has become more coarse and unforgiving. When aggression is normalized and humiliation is treated as political currency. We cannot have a culture that proudly treats fellow Filipinos as enemies to be defeated, all in the name of clout. Yung mga pagbabanta, pambibintang, pananakit ng damdamin, hindi yan ang dapat ginagawang sukatan ng tapang. Kahit magkakatunggali sa politika, hindi tayo dapat ganyan sa isa't isa, lalo na dito sa Senado. Hindi ito tahanan ng ganyang kababang uri ng politika. Ngayon, higit sa kailanman, dapat manaig ang ating pagka-Pilipino. I refuse to believe na tayong mga Pilipino ay mga bulag na sumusunod sa sinumang politiko. I refuse to believe na wala nang natitirang malasakit, hiya o pagmamahal sa bayan. Kasi ang mga krisis, ang mga sakuna, hindi yan nagtatanong kung sinong kakampi mo sa politika. Lahat tayo tinatamaan at lahat tayo may responsibilidad. At tayo mismo, dito sa Senado, kaya nating magkasundo. In fact, all of the laws I myself have championed could not have passed without the support of those from across the political aisle. And I refuse to believe that this institution that has crafted laws for the most marginalized, that has conducted crucial investigations, that have moved the needle at various political junctures, is beyond repair or redemption. Let us remember, Mr. President, that we have a bicameral legislature with a Senate elected at large, precisely to have a body that can rise above parochial concerns and craft a vision for the entire nation. At kaya kong sabihin ng buong puso that this Senate has, at its best, shown that disagreement does not destroy our common duty. We have passed laws across party lines. That is why we cannot act as though nothing happened last week. Alam natin ang tama at mali. Alam natin kapag sumosobra na. And this is what our country needs from us now. For the Senate, in this difficult hour, to reflect the best of our people. May we prove worthy of the trust that our people have placed in us. Marami pong salamat sa inyo at sa lahat, Mr. President.
Before I recognize Senator Pia and Senator Marcoleta, you know, the curious thing is the prayer of Senator Kiko and the prayer of former Senate President Tito Soto yesterday. We all agree with it. We're just looking at it from different sides of the political lens. And many of your statements today, Senator Risa, many of us, if not all, agree. But we all won't agree that parang walang nangyari. I don't know where that came from because I don't think anyone is treating it trivially. It's just a matter of how we can focus on it given that there is a real economic crisis, crisis of prices, oil crisis. Our stock is running out. We're convening into an impeachment court. You know, our staff are overwhelmed by the number of investigations, by the number of subpoenas that are here. They're asking us to produce so many things while we're also doing our own. So while we will agree with you and let's discuss later on which committee, I do not think anyone is acting as if parang walang nangyari. Senator Pia or Senator Marcoleta?
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, may I ask if Senator Risa would yield to a few questions?
Can we take a minute suspension? before we ask the Majority Leader and Senator Marcoleta their pleasure, may I request from the members, I told the Minority Leader, the former Senate President, that this is an emotional issue, not only for us, but for the whole country, given this is the Senate of the Philippines. And it's a sensitive issue because there are words that have been used. That's why I have tried to be deliberate, wait not only for a partial investigation, but independent, wait for every investigation to come in. Now, many members of the majority who were here want to speak on that measure. Having said that, number one, we have athletes here and I don't want to keep them here the whole day. Number two, I was about to report this, that as Senate President, I respectfully informed the body that earlier today, 20 May 2026, the summons in relation to the articles of impeachment filed against VP Sara Duterte was duly served upon respondent Vice President Sara Z. Duterte. A copy of the summons was likewise furnished to the prosecution panel on the same date. Under the applicable rules, respondent is given 10 calendar days from service of summons within which to file her answer, and counting 10 calendar days from 20 May 2026. The last day would ordinarily fall on Saturday, 30 May 26. However, since the last day falls on the Saturday, the period shall not run until the next working day. Accordingly, the deadline for respondent to file her answer is on Monday, 01 June 2026. Furthermore, upon the prosecution panel's receipt of the respondent's answer, the prosecution shall have 5 calendar days from receipt within which to reply if they opt to do so. The deadline for the reply shall be computed from the day the prosecution actually receives the answer. I say this because we have to discuss the impeachment calendar, and the staff is ready to brief us. And if we can give this priority, because we have to discuss it vis-a-vis the legislative calendar, vis-a-vis the committee hearings and the session. So if we are going to all stand today, like Senator Tulfo and Senator Risa, we won't finish by midnight tonight, because at least 3 or 4 senators from 8 senators from the majority wants to speak on the matter. There might be, if not those who want to speak in the minority, those who want to ask questions or interpolate. So may I ask as your Senate President na magbigayan tayo today, and if you want to put a lot of time on that on Monday, we can fully discuss. I've received some request for CCTV footage. We gave it right away to PNP. We will give it to you if you request it. We're also requesting CCTV footages from anyone who took it, including from the media, so that we can discuss it very intelligently with, I think, 24 senators committing that this is an important issue and we will give it the much needed attention. But let's do it with prudence, deliberately. We're dealing with our democracy here. No? We're dealing with law enforcement agencies, AFP, PNP, NBI, with branches of government, the executive and the legislative. So I know we all want to speak on it today, but may we include in the caucus what committee to give this to. I think the Senate President will, before we go on suspension, wants to put on record his recommendation. But if I may ask him, that the actual decision, given that there are other people with other ideas, we discuss it. I don't think it's a matter that you and I should discuss, but all of us. So let me ask first Senator Marcoleta, may I ask you if we can make a statement rather than interpolate today? Senator Risa, kung may mga gustong mag-interpolate, pwedeng sa Monday. Yeah. Senator Risa answered in the affirmative.
Yes, Mr. President, considering that I was approached by your good self just moments ago and explained the matter that there is an apparent consensus that this subject matter, also subject of Senator Risa's speech on question of privilege, I yield to the better judgment of the President of the Senate, and I will hold my questions until Monday. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Marcoleta. Thank you, Senator Risa Ontiveros. Minority Leader, may I just give, you're my kuya, but she's my ate. Yeah. Senator Pia.
Mr. President, I also will not interpolate or make my own privileged speech today as requested by the Senate President. I reserve my right to make the proper interventions at the time that the Senate President and our other colleagues agree upon. But I just want to make this quick statement. Parang walang nangyari. Yan po ang statement ng ating butihing Senadora Risa Hontiveros. Siguro po para sa inyong mga wala dito. Pero para sa amin na nandito, napakaraming nangyari. Takot na takot po ako na kailangan ko na magpaalam sa mga anak ko. At yung staff ko, 2 pintuan ang pagitan ko sa putukan. Yung staff ko na si Claire, na 20 years na sa akin, nandun siya sa labas. She has a 12-year-old son. Kinuwento niya sa akin lately na tumatakbo siya, hindi niya alam kung saan siya pupunta. Kaya para sabihin niyo na walang nangyari. Napakasakit para sa aming lahat na nandito. And as I said, 2 pintuan na nagpo-protect sa akin sa putukan. Pero yung media, yung Senate staff, yung hindi naman makauwi dahil sila ang security, sila ang elevator, women and boys natin, nandoon po sila. So dear colleagues, napakarami nang nangyari. And one more thing, wala ho akong sinisisi. Pero nung pagkatapos ng lahat, pagtingin ko ng group natin, yung dating majority group, walang ni isa sa inyong nangamusta sa amin. Some of you I've known for 20 years, 10 years, and I didn't even hear anything. Kamusta na kayo dyan? Napakasakit mo sa akin. Sobrang sakit. So yun lang ang masasabi ko. Yes, I am very ready to share my story, to ask questions. Pero kung wala ho kayo dito, huwag niyong questionin yung mga nangyari sa mga nandito. Dahil nandito kami, kasama ng staff namin, Senate staff. You have your own story. I respect that. But please respect my own story. Thank you, Mr. President.
Minority Leader.
Mr. President, yes, of course, we sympathize with the manifestation made by Senator Pia Cayetano. But my position is merely to give a suggestion for your consideration and for the consideration of our colleagues. I think this particular issue, once culminated, should be referred to the Committee of the Whole. The reason being, it is an extraordinary remedy necessary because of the issues of Senate institutional security. The chamber itself is affected. The institution is threatened. There are multiple Senate committees that are going to be involved: public order, justice, rules, ethics, even finance, because of the procurement of the weapons allegedly that were used. So the Senate has a direct institutional stake, every senator. So this is not just majority or minority. So therefore, may I give a suggestion that you consider the possibility of all these manifestations be referred to the Committee of the Whole. And in the past, the Committee of the Whole, when we investigated formally, we investigated PhilHealth, it was the Senate President that chaired the Committee of the Whole, unless he appoints a
This
co-chairman.
representation always takes, you know this, Your Honor, always takes your suggestions seriously. So
Thank you.
you're suggesting we use Rule 14 and Section 14 of the rules and create a special committee, the Committee of the Whole. Is that correct? Yes.
Mr. President, if I may, Mr. President.
And before that, since we're going to go into caucus to speak about the calendar, may I ask the Minority Leader if it's acceptable that we discuss it there? Later in the caucus, just so that we don't have to discuss everything on the floor and we get the other business that we have to do today done with. No?
Can I, Mr. President?
Yes.
Mr.
Majority
President,
Leader.
I'm sorry, Mr. President, but just to put on record, there are a lot of senators who wanted to speak and reserve their
On
right
this issue.
on this particular
Put it
issue.
on
We
record
have-
so that we
yes,
can
we have
amend it.
Senator Mark Villar, Senator Camille Villar, Senator Jinggoy Estrada, Senator Robin Hood Padilla, Senator Bongo, Senator Loren Legarda, Senator Win Gatchalian, and even this representation, Mr. President. So, if I may, Mr. President, and with the indulgence of our colleagues, I think we already made that decision that on Monday, come Monday, we can talk about this, Mr. President, and of course, entertain the idea being raised by our minority leader. So with that, Mr. President, may I just move that we proceed with the reference of business so that the resolutions
I just have to recognize Senator Ontiveros with that pakiusap of everyone.
we
that-
yield, Mr. President,
Yes.
we yield to the distinguished lady, Mr. President.
Maraming salamat, Mr. President. I empathize with the experiences and the feelings expressed by the gentlewoman from Taguig and Pateros. May I just repeat what I clearly stated at the context of na parang walang nangyari. I'm talking about ngayon, after those terrible events that caused fear and a lot of other negative emotions and experiences sa ating mga colleagues, sa ating mga Senate staff, sa security unit dito at sa Senate media. Yun po yung punto ko, and it is akin to one of the points raised by Senator Erwin earlier, before my privileged speech.
But let me
just
assure
to
you that's
correct that,
not the
Mr.
case.
President.
In fact, I have to
Yes.
deal with the security of the Senate every day. I'm just not telling you everything that we have to deal with now to make sure that there's no bombs in the in the area, just like every day except this time. And also making sure that there's no miscommunication between the executive, legislative, judiciary, and the international community. That's precisely why we are waiting for the complete investigation, because there are matters that when are discussed in public will cause more alarm and confusion rather than clarity. But that doesn't mean na parang walang nangyari lang. I think that's the point where there will be strong answers, Senator Risa. But of course, you have your point of view, and we respect that.
Thank you, Mr. President. And lastly, just for the record, as I said earlier, I deeply respect the emotions of our distinguished colleague. It's evident that the violence that breached our halls has profoundly affected all of us. And I don't doubt, Mr. President, the leadership's personal distress over what transpired. However, when I stated that it feels now as though walang nangyari, I was not speaking about our personal feelings. I was speaking about our institutional posture.
Thank you for
Our
that.
grief as senators is valid, but our mandate requires action. Salamat po ng marami, Mr. President.
Thank you for that statement. And personally, I've stated this again and again. And I don't doubt the sincerity of President Marcos when he called to check if we're safe and to assure us that it wasn't an attack from the executive department. I don't doubt that. That's why we're waiting for the whole investigation. Thank you. Majority Leader, let's
Yes,
proceed.
Mr. President, just to put on record, it's really way, way different when you are here inside this Senate premises, especially during the time when we were inside that one room, Mr. President. I would still recall the gunshots, the smelling of gunpowder, Mr. President, and everything that we had experienced. So it's really different, Mr. President. Just want to put that on record. With that, Mr. President, may I move now to that we proceed with the reference of business.
Yes. Please proceed.
Message of the President of the Philippines. Letter of His Excellency President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., dated May 5, 2026, resubmitting for the Senate's consideration and concurrence the agreement between the Manila Economic and Cultural Office in Taiwan and Taipei Economic and Cultural Office in the Philippines for the avoidance of double taxation and the prevention of fiscal evasion with respect to taxes on income, which was signed on April 24, 2025 in Manila.
Referred to the Committee on Foreign Relations.
Bills on first reading. Senate Bill number 2128, an act upgrading the salary grade of dentists employed in the public sector, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes, by Senator Hontiveros.
Referred to the Committees on Civil Service, Government Reorganization and Professional Regulation, Health, Demography, and Finance.
2129, an act strengthening further the powers and functions of the Philippine Economic Zone Authority, amending for the purpose RA number 7916, otherwise known as the Special Economic Zone Act of 1995, as amended by RA number 8748 by Senator Tulfo R.
Referred to the Committee on Economic Affairs and Ways and Means Committee.
2130, an act establishing a comprehensive framework for the development, promotion, and protection of the Philippine ube industry, declaring ube as a national priority crop, creating the Philippine Ube Industry Council, providing for quality standards and geographic indication, protection, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes by Senator Tulfo R.
Referred to the Committees on Agriculture, Food and Agrarian Reform, Trade, Commerce and Entrepreneurship, Ways and Means, and Finance.
2131, an act lowering the cap on the recoverable rate of system losses chargeable to consumers, amending for this purpose Section 10 of RA number 7832, otherwise known as the Anti-Electricity and Electric Transmission Lines Materials Pilferages Act of 1994 by Senator Marcoleta.
Referred to the Committee on Energy and Public Services.
2132, an act declaring ube, commonly known as the purple yam, as the national root crop of the Philippines and recognizing its cultural, agricultural, and economic significance by Senator Tulfo R.
Referred to the Committee on Agriculture, Food and Agrarian Reform.
Resolutions, PSR number 392, resolution directing the appropriate committee to conduct an inquiry in aid of legislation into the alleged irregular importation of rice by the Planters Products Incorporated by Senator Marcos R. Senator Marcos.
1 minute suspension. Referred to the Blue Ribbon Committee.
Resolution number 393, directing the Senate Committee on Migrant Workers to conduct an inquiry in aid of legislation into the current implementation of the Magna Carta of Filipino Seafarers and to review the existing monitoring measures adopted by the Department of Migrant Workers and the Maritime Industry Authority to ensure the protection, well-being, and continued safety of Filipino seafarers, especially those deployed in high-risk maritime areas, by Senator Tulfo R.
Referred to the Committee on Migrant Workers.
394, congratulating and commending the Philippine National Bear Bow Archery Team for winning 1 gold and 2 bronze medals in the Malaysia Bear Bow Asia Championship by Senator Padilla.
Referred to the Committee on Rules.
395, expressing the sense of the Senate, urging Senator Ronald Bato M. De La Rosa to voluntarily surrender to the proper authorities and seek judicial remedies in accordance with the Constitution and applicable laws and rules by Senators Pangilinan, Soto III, Lacson, Hontiveros, and Aquino IV.
Referred to the Committee on Rules.
396, directing the appropriate Senate committee to conduct an inquiry in aid of legislation into the reported entry, presence, deployment, participation, or involvement of personnel of the National Bureau of Investigation, other law enforcement or security agencies, and private individuals in the incidents that took place within or in the immediate vicinity of the Senate premises on May 11, 2026 and May 13, 2026, including the discharge of firearms, security breaches, and any attempt to implement, facilitate, or enable an arrest or custodial transfer within Senate premises by Senator Marcos.
Minority Leader, may I ask, may I consult whether you want me to initially refer to Committee on Rules, or will we defer first the referral of all resolutions with the same nature and including the manifestation of Senator Erwin Tulfo and the statements of Senator Ontiveros? Should we give it first the rules or defer muna any referral?
If you please, Your Honor, either to the Committee of the Whole or
What's the pleasure, whether rules or defer, while we're discussing whether we will create?
rules muna. All right.
Then we will discuss
we
in
can
the caucus
discuss,
whether
yes.
we will
If all of these resolutions
In accordance with Rule
and the
14.
manifestations be
Yes.
referred to later on
Yes.
because of the 5
Yes.
committees involved, Your Honor.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Mr.
Yes.
President.
Senator Pangilinan.
Yes, Mr. President, I was just going to suggest, but it has already been suggested, that this be first referred to the Committee on Rules, subject to a possible referral
Yes.
to perhaps the Committee of the Whole.
And with the permission of Senator Tulfo and Senator Tiveros, we'll refer your statements today to the Committee on Rules and take it together.
Without prejudice to its referral
Yes.
to another committee,
Yes.
As may be decided by the Senate. Thank you, Mr.
So there's no objections with the qualifications of Senator Pangilinan. PS Resolution 396 and all statements on the same matter today from Senator Tulfo, Senator Tiveros, Senator Cayetano, and Senator Marcoleta are referred to the Committee on Rules.
397, resolution directing the appropriate Senate committees to conduct an inquiry in aid of legislation into the shooting incident that occurred within the Senate premises on May 13, 2026, with the end in view of strengthening security protocols, protecting the integrity and independence of the Senate as a democratic institution, ensuring the safety of Senate personnel and the public, and reviewing existing laws, rules, and coordination mechanisms governing security in government institutions by Senator Aquino.
Referred to the Committee on Rules.
398, commending and congratulating Team Pilipinas Poveda and Enciende for winning the gold medal for Open Hip Hop in the 2026 International All-Star Federation Dance Worlds and silver medal for Junior Hip Hop in the 2026 International Cheer Union World Championships by Senator Go.
Referred to the Committee on Rules.
399, commending and congratulating the Gilas Pilipinas Women 3x3 team for winning the silver medal in the 2026 FIBA 3x3 Asia Cup by Senator Go.
Referred to the Committee on Rules.
400, commending the Senate media for their bravery and professionalism during their coverage of the May 13, 2026 shooting incident at the Senate by Senator Hontiveros.
Referred to the Committee on Rules. Before the additional reference of business, Majority Leader, you want to make a motion? We will proceed with the additional reference of business.
Additional reference of business. Bills on first reading. Senate Bill number 2133, an act mandating the recruitment, hiring, and training of school-based licensed guidance counselors, psychologists, school social workers, and mental health personnel by Senator Villar M.
Referred to the Committee on Basic Education, Civil Service, Government Reorganization and Professional Regulation, and Finance.
2134, an act providing for the lifetime validity of identification cards issued to persons with permanent disability, amending RA number 7277, or the Magna Carta for persons with disability as amended by Senator Villar M.
Referred to the Committee on Social Justice, Welfare, and Rural Development.
2135, an act establishing the Jose Panganiban Special Economic Zone in Freeport Province of Camarines Norte and appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes by Senator Padilla.
Referred to the Committee on Economic Affairs, Local Government, Ways and Means, and Finance.
2136, an act upgrading the Camarines Norte Provincial Hospital in the Municipality of Daet, Province of Camarines Norte into a tertiary level 3 general hospital to be known as the Camarines Norte General Hospital under the direct control, supervision, and management of the Department of Health, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes by Senator Padilla.
Referred to the Committee on Rules.
2137, an act increasing the income tax exemption ceiling for individual taxpayers to 360,000 pesos annually, amending for the purpose Section 24A, 2A, and B of the National Internal Revenue Code of 1997 as amended by Senator Villar M.
Referred to the Committee on Ways and Means.
2138, an act expanding the coverage of RA number 10883, otherwise known as the new Anti-Kidnapping Act of 2016, to include the taking of motor vehicles through deceit of or fraudulent schemes within the definition of kidnapping and for other purposes by Senator Tulfo R.
Referred to the Committee on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs and Public Services.
Resolution PSR number 401, urging the Committee on Sustainable Development Goals, Innovation, and Futures Thinking to conduct an inquiry in aid of legislation on the Philippines' preparedness for the projected 2026 El Nino phenomenon and its impact on food security, water resources, public health, and environment by Senator Cayetano P.
Referred to the Committee on Sustainable Development Goals, Innovation, and Future Thinking.
402, urging the Senate Sergeant-at-Arms to undertake comprehensive capacity building training programs and to develop, adapt, and institutionalize a formal operations manual to ensure professional, coordinated, rights-based, and effective security operations within the Senate of the Philippines by Senator Tulfo R.
Referred to the Committee on Rules.
Mr. President.
Senator Pangilinan.
Yes, just a, sorry for the delay, but I just caught it, the referral of the climate crisis or climate change resolution to the Committee on Sustainable Development Goals. May we request that it likewise be secondarily referred to the Committee on Agriculture, as food security is one of the concerns raised in the resolution.
It's a good suggestion.
With the permission of
Any
the sponsor.
objection? There's no objection. It's referred also to the Committee on Agriculture. We agree with you, Senator Pangilinan.
Thank you. Mr. President.
The agreeable senator.
Mr. President.
Senator Win is the only one laughing at my... I might vote for him one day. Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. President, with the permission of the body and pursuant to Rule 10, Section 13 of the Rules of the Senate, may I respectfully move to elect Senator Rodante Marcoleta as chairperson of the Committee on Justice and Human Rights, Vice Senator Pangilinan. So move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Mr. President, before we proceed, this is just a personal matter to this representation. May we also acknowledge guests from the gallery, members of Bulacan board members, Board Member Art Legaspi of the 6th District, Board Member I. Mariano of the 3rd District, and Board Member Cesar Teta Mendoza of the 5th District of the great province of Bulacan. We welcome them in this august chamber.
Thank you for visiting us today. Many of the senators started their career in municipal, city legislatures or in the provincial council. Thank you for being with us today.
Mr. President, at this juncture, and with the permission of the body, I move to consider proposed Senate Resolution number 394 and for the Secretary to read the title of the measure. This is the resolution commending the National Barebow Archery Team. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. Consideration of proposed Senate Resolution 394 is now in order. The Secretary is directed to read only the title of the measure without prejudice to inserting the record of the whole text thereof.
Resolution congratulating and commending the Philippine National Barebow Archery Team for winning 1 gold and 2 bronze medals in the Malaysia 2026 Barebow Asia Championship.
Majority Leader.
Mr. President, our colleague Senator Dante Marcoleta just asked me if we can just acknowledge also Sir Marco Eranio Dumale and Sofia Antonina Magsino, who are here with us, a guest of Senator
Yes.
Marcoleta. Thank
And
you.
later on, I think you also have to manifest the representation in the Judicial Bar Council. We usually
Oh, yes.
attach that to the, not
Yes.
always, but we sometimes attach it most of the time to the Committee on Justice. But for the record, after this resolution,
Yes.
maybe we
Yes,
can
Mr.
put
President,
it on
I'm
record.
being educated right now because I
Yes.
have this thinking that it's automatic, Mr.
No,
President.
and justice
But we'll do that
delayed
later,
is
Mr.
justice
President.
denied.
Yes. Mr. President, may we recognize the distinguished sponsor of the measure, Senator Robin Hood Padilla. So move, Mr. President.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Senator Padilla, the floor is yours.
Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo. Mga kagalang-galang na kasamahan sa Senado, unang-una na po ang mga bayani ng ating sports, si Senadora Pia Cayetano, Senador Bongo, at Senador Joel Villanueva. Kasama na po ang ating SP, Senator Alan Peter Cayetano. At sa lahat po ng ating mga kasamahan, isang karangalan po para sa akin na tumayo ngayon upang sponsoran ang Senate Resolution number 394 na kumikilala at ipinagmamalaki ang isang pambihirang tagumpay na muling nagtaas sa bandila ng Pilipinas sa pandaigdigang entablado. Sa kauna-unahang pagkakataon sa kasaysayan, nasungkit ng ating pambansang kupunan sa Barebow Archery ang gintong medalya na ginanap sa Malaysia 2026 Barebow Asia Championship noong ika-29 ng Abril hanggang ika-3 ng Mayo ngayong taon sa Shah Alam National Sports Complex, Panasonic, Selangor, Malaysia. Isang makasaysayang panalo na nagpapatunay na ang galing, tapang, disiplina at determinasyon ng Pilipino ay walang katumbas. Pinangunahan po ito ng ating mga magigiting na Pilipina archers na sina Maria Razel Richilda Padilla Abella, Josephine Galisano, Rowena Galisano, at Isabel Narangila. Sa kabila ng matinding laban, ipinakita nila ang pambihirang husay at tibay ng loob. Mula sa semifinals kung saan tinalo nila ang Thailand sa end score na 6-2 hanggang sa nakakapanabik na finals sa host country na Malaysia. Hindi sila natinag. Nakuha ng Malaysia ang unang set, 43-42, na nakapagbigay sa kanila ng 2-0 lead. Tumugon naman ng Pilipinas sa ikalawang set na natapos sa tie round score na 49-49 at score na 3-1. Sumiklab ang galing ng mga Pilipina sa ikatlong set at nagdala ng 51-45 na panalo upang mapantay ang set score na 3-3. Nanatiling dikit ang laban matapos ang ikaapat na set sa score na 48-48. Dahilan upang manatiling tabla ang laban sa 4-4. Panoorin po natin ang video. Sa huli, ang kampyonato ay napagdesisyonan sa pamamagitan ng isang shoot-off kung saan nanatiling kalmado at matatag ang ating Philippine Barebow Women's Archery Team. Pinatunayan nila ang pusong Pinoy ay hindi sumusuko at sa huli ay naiuwi nila ang kauna-unahang gintong medalya para sa ating bansa sa larangan ng barebow na score na 5-4. Hindi rin nagpahuli ang mga kalalakihan, Philippine Barebow Men's National Team na binubuo ni Eliezer Villarosa Jr., Kenneth Marlo Tan, Joseph Tan at Apollo Clark Co na nagkamit naman ng 2 bronze na medalya. Isa rin itong napakalaking tagumpay na nagpapatuloy na lumalakas at umuulad ang larangan ng archery ng Pilipinas. Lalo pong kahanga-hanga ang kanilang tagumpay dahil ang mga nasabing barebow teams ay halos self-funded. Mula sa kanilang pagsasanay, uniforme, hanggang sa pamasahe at iba pang gastusin, sila mismo ang nagtaguyod sa kanilang pangarap habang nirerepresenta ang ating watawat. Sa kabila ng limitadong suporta, nanaig ang kanilang dedikasyon at pagmamahal sa bayan. Magsilbi din sana itong panawagan na dapat nating suportahan ang ating mga atletang Pilipino sa kanilang mga kampanya na magdala ng karangalan sa ating bansa. Hindi rin po nating dapat kalimutan ang kanilang volunteer coaches na sila Mark Henry Wee, Dem Paragamak, Jomelini Estacio at Dr. Federico Eduardo Abella, na buong pusong naglaan ng oras at talento upang gabayan ang ating mga atleta. Hindi po biro ang larong archery. Ito'y nangangailangan ng pinagsanib na pisikal na disiplina, matinding konsentrasyon, at malalim na malayang kaisipan. Ang tagumpay na ito ay kwento ng sakripisyo, pagkakaisa, at walang sawang paniniwala sa kakayahan ng Pilipino. Ito ay paalala na kapag pinagsama ang talento, sipag at pagmamahal sa bayan, walang imposible. Kaya naman po, buong pinagmamalaki kong sinusulong sa bulwagang ito ang pagkilala sa ating mga pambansang bayani sa larangan ng barebow archery. Naway magsilbi silang inspirasyon sa bawat Pilipino na mangarap ng mataas, magsumikap ng buong puso at ipaglaban ang ating watawat saan mang panig ng mundo. Ika nga ng isang pamosong archer na si Ron Laclaire, archery is like a journey. It begins with a love for shooting, a bow, and a passion for watching our arrows fly. Mabuhay po ang ating atletang Pilipino, mabuhay ang Pilipinas.
Senator Padilla, thank you for that very action-filled speech. Would you want to tell their names again so that they can stand up one by one and be recognized? No? So we're not allowed to applaud, but we applaud you in our hearts as you stand up and be recognized.
Pinakikilala ko po sa inyo ang ating mga kababaihan na gold. Ito po ang tunay na Robin Hood sa pamilya namin. Maria Razel Rechilda Padilla Abella.
Agreeable nga ito.
Josephine Galiscano. Rowena Galicano. At Isabel Narangila. Sila po ang mga nakakuha ng gold. At ang atin naman pong kalalakihan ay hindi nagpauli. Si Ginoong Eliezer Villarosa Jr., Kenneth Marlo Tan, Joseph Tan, at Apollo Clark Co. Sila naman po ay nakakuha ng bronze, mahal na Pangulo.
Thank you very much. And you unite us. Our athletes and sports unite the Filipino nation. So thank you for your service. Majority Leader?
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. President, Senator Jinggoy Estrada would like to just insert into the records his co-sponsorship speech. Let it be inserted, Mr. President. And then next to deliver his co-sponsorship speech is no other than the gentleman from Davao, Senator Christopher Bongo.
So if there's no
I move that he be
objection, the
recognized.
sponsorship speech of Senator Jinggoy Estrada is brought into the records. Senator Bongo, don't stop, go.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, as chairperson of the Senate Committee on Sports, it is with great pride and honor that I rise today to co-sponsor Senate resolution congratulating and commending the Philippine National Bear Bow Archery Team for their outstanding performance in the Malaysia 2026 Bear Bow Asia Championship. Our national bear bow archers brought honor to the country by winning 1 gold medal and 2 bronze medals in this international competition held in Shah Alam, Malaysia. This achievement is a proud moment not only for Philippine archery but for Philippine sports as a whole. Kasama po dito ang kapatid ni Senator Robin Hood Padilla, si Miss Rechilda Padilla Abella. Congratulations po sa inyong lahat. Kaya pala si Senator Robin Hood, malakas ang loob dahil sanay sa archery ito. I have always been a strong advocate of promoting sports development in the country. I firmly believe that sports can positively impact the physical and mental well-being of our citizens and contribute meaningfully to nation building. Kinikilala po natin ang mahalagang papel na ginagampanan ng sports sa ating lipunan dahil naniniwala po ako na ito ay isang mabisang paraan upang mailayo ang ating mga kabataan sa masasamang elemento katulad po ng illegal na droga. At gaya po ng parati kong sinasabi, get into sports, stay away from drugs to keep us healthy and fit. Kaya naman po ang tagumpay na ito ay hindi lamang bunga ng lakas ng katawan o galing sa pagpana. Ito ay bunga ng tiyaga at sakripisyo. Sa bawat tira, dala ng ating mga atleta ang pangalan ng Pilipinas. Sa bawat pag-angat ng pana, dala nila ang pangarap, disiplina at dangal ng bawat Pilipino. Their victory reminds us that Filipino athletes can excel not only in mainstream sports but also in specialized and highly technical disciplines. Given the right amount of support, training, and exposure, our athletes can compete and win against the best in Asia and the world. Mr. President, this achievement also sends an important message to our young athletes that there is honor in discipline and there is pride in representing the country, no matter what the sport is. To the Philippine National Bear Bow Archery Team, congratulations po sa bawat isa sa inyo. Your performance has brought pride to our flag, inspiration to our youth, and renewed attention to the growing promise of Philippine archery. May this victory encourage stronger support for our national athletes, our coaches, and our sports programs from grassroots development to international competition. Matandaan natin, dati kulelat po tayo sa Olympics, wala tayong ginto. Ngayon, since 2019, meron na tayong dalawang ginto nung Paris Olympics at isang ginto naman po nung Tokyo Olympics last 2021. Rest assured that I will remain steadfast in my commitment to ensure that the rights and welfare of our Filipino athletes are always at the forefront of my priorities. We will continue to work doubly hard with all concerned agencies and stakeholders to bring our country the glory it deserves and to establish the Philippines as a true sports powerhouse in Asia. Sa ating mga atleta, go lang ng go. Thank you, Mr. President. Mabuhay po ang ating mga atletang Pilipino.
Thank you very much to our chairperson of the Committee on Sports, Senator Bongo. Majority Leader?
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. President, let me also associate myself to the sponsors of this measure. And all I wanted to say, Mr. President, is I hope that we can acknowledge in this August chamber the matriarch of Padilla family who is here with us, no other than the mother of Senator Robin Hood Padilla, Mrs. Eva Padilla, who is here with us. Of course, with the Romel Padilla, and as I mentioned earlier, Boss Ma'am Mariel Padilla is also here. Dr. Rowena Tad Evangelista is also here. We'd like to acknowledge them, Mr. President, and put on record, Mr. President, that all members present here today wanted to be co-author of this resolution.
Yes. So
and
first,
so with that,
again, welcome the Padilla family and welcome Nanay. Senator Padilla, you want to say something?
Opo, Ginoong Pangulo, hindi ko po anak, kapatid ko po. Kinukongratulate po
Sabi
ako,
niya
anak
yung
ko ba?
nanay mo, ikaw daw anak. He was referring to yung nanay mo,
Di ba?
right?
Kapatid ko po yung kapatid ko po yung naka-gold.
Ah.
Hindi po
Yeah.
hindi ko po anak. Masyado naman. Pambihira naman.
No, the majority,
Mr. President, just to put on record, no one actually claimed.
you mean his mother is here and he's the son?
Yes, I said the mother is here.
Hindi, sabi ni Senator Bongo.
Oh, Senator Bongo. Okay. Yes, with that, Mr. President, no other member wishes to interpolate or propose amendments to the measure. May I respectfully move now that we adopt proposed Senate Resolution number 349 subject to style. So move, Mr. President.
I think others want to be co-authors.
I already mentioned, Mr. President, all members present
So
here today.
even the Ateneans want to be associated with archers? Okay. So if there's no objection, the motion is approved.
May I ask for a minute suspension to allow our guests to go to the rostrum?
Session
Thank you,
suspended.
Mr. President. Section 8 of the 1987 Constitution, may I respectfully move to elect Senator Marcoleta as the Senate's representative to the Judicial and Bar Council, Vice Senator Francis Pangilinan. So move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved.
Mr. President, may we invite all the members of this August chamber, all senators, for the All Senators Caucus at the lounge to talk about the calendar of schedule for the impeachment proceedings and other matters discussed a while ago in this August chamber. May we invite everyone to proceed to the...
And that includes the Secretariat who will brief us on precedents and
Yes.
On their computation of the number of days from the summons to replies, etc.
Yeah. And with that, Mr. President, may I respectfully move that we...
Just before that, Senator Tulfo?
With the indulgence of the majority floor leader, Mr. President, may I ask if this calendar will be published soon so that the public will know and have an idea of the schedules too, Mr. President, because I'm sure that the public is very interested in this trial, Mr. President.
Yes, I agree with you, Senator Tulfo. Once we agree we'd rather have consensus rather than vote on it. But if we do have a consensus, please move that we announce it to the public. So it really depends on our caucus today, but the Secretariat is quite prepared. They will show us what happened in the last impeachments. So I think we would have a very good view of how long this impeachment will take. The only tricky part really is when we have the impeachment during session days.
Therefore, Mr. President, can I move that we, the calendar, the schedule of this impeachment trial be published so that the public would know, because they are really interested and they're waiting so that they can watch on the TV, on social media about the ongoing trial, Mr. President.
Majority Leader?
Yes, Mr.
It seems
President.
there's no objection.
Yes, with no objection, Mr. President, I move that we adjourn the session until 3 o'clock
Before
in the
that,
afternoon
sorry,
of
Mr.
Monday.
On the motion that we publish the calendar, there's no objection, so it's carried. Okay. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr.
motion to
President.
adjourn.
Sorry,
Thank you,
Mr.
Mr.
President. Thank you, Senator Erwin. Mr. President, I move that we adjourn the session until 3 o'clock in the afternoon of Monday, May 25, 2026. So move, Mr. President.
So we are adjourned till Monday, May ano ba
May
Monday?
25, Mr. President.
25 at 3 p.m.
Thank you, Mr. President.